Alright, so for some of today's projects, I got an accumulator to put on the other side of the water pump, because now that I'm not using gravity pressure, this water pump does a lot of pumping for water anytime I need water pressure. So I have to put an accumulator pump on that side of the pump, and while I'm draining hoses and taking things apart, I'm going to add in another hose that can bypass the pump, because right now to fill my fresh water tank I got to go outside to the fresh water fill port, but I plan to put in another hose and use one of these shut-off valves so that I can go from the pressurized blue hose into this input hose, and I can fill the water tank from city water inside the camper. So that'll just be a nice extra thing to add, but the main thing is this accumulator pump. And if you notice here, I've got a couple bricks and a deck of cards that hold the seat plank up because this came off. So while I'm in here, I'm going to go ahead and get some 2x4s and build the back support, because this thing is just really light wood. It does have a rest over there, but there's no rest here. I think the previous owner cut it out or something. So I got to reinforce that today as well. So going to be working on that. All right. One giant mess later, and a trip to Piedmont to the hardware store for a bunch of parts. Specifically, I needed hose clamps and some plastic tees. I thought I had plastic tees, and I was going to use my crimper, this new crimper I bought, but it's specifically for PEX hose. And the accumulator has one half-inch hose that's not PEX, so I needed hose clamps for those. So right now, though, it's working. When I first plugged it in, I had a bunch of leaks, so I had to tighten all my hose clamps down further. And then replugged it in, and the pump just kept running. It didn't turn off. So I found out the pump has a little pressure adjuster in here that I have to use an Allen key for. And I was trying to get it just right, but it wasn't working. And so I realized my reverse osmosis system under here was still running, so it wasn't really cutting off. So I had to come in here, turn that little switch off, and now it's working really good. I have good water pressure, and the pump didn't kick on because it's using water that's in the accumulator. But if I leave it on long enough, there, you hear the pump kick in? And the pump is a lot quieter now. So, now I've got to clean up this mess. I also built this so that it just sits right in here. Behind this hose. Just like that. And now my board over here, when I put that in, will be plenty sturdy. So now I just got to clean up these hoses, tie them back some, but this is working much better. So this project is done. Well, cleaned up a lot and was editing the video, and I forgot to show you one of the other important things I did here. I mentioned in the intro video I was installing this bypass. So this was a lot of work. This is blue PEX pipe where I had the nice crimper to crimp these on, and this is a bypass valve. So that is going to make life a lot easier when I have city water hooked up and I need to fill my potable water tank, rather than going outside and swapping it from that side of the camper to this side of the camper and filling the potable water tank. When city water's hooked up, it pressurizes this blue one. I just open up this valve and it spits water down into my potable water tank. So that was also what took a lot of time today, was putting that in. So I haven't used it yet because I have everything disconnected for freezing temperatures tonight. But next time I hook the city water up, I'm going to try it out and see if it works, because that'll be a nice little feature to have. But that's it for, I forgot to mention that earlier, so just had to add that in.